you were stepping up, it's about the ability of that individual to be able to determine what might be certain in an uncertain environment, and having the capability to bring the team around you to be able to shape that, but also for you as a leader to ensure that you are taking time out to set the strategy. So that leads us neatly onto stepping up. I suppose what would be useful is for you to think about a role or a couple of roles that you felt at the time were perhaps a leap in faith by the employer, where you thought, I'm going to seize this opportunity, where someone put faith in you in terms of what you might have been able to, what they thought you might be able to bring and what you could deliver. This is where people are finding themselves at the moment. And I think what's very important is to give them a level of comfort in terms of what they are stepping into. And if you would remind us what it felt like, the challenges that you dealt with, and equally what you might have done differently when you look back. Would you like to take us through a couple of examples of, if you have, of any of those roles?
Yes, I think during all along my career, there involves a lot of stepping ups, as you mentioned, because each time you step into a new organization, and in particular in different industries as well, you have to step up yourself to the challenge. I had quite a few examples of that. As I mentioned, in my early days, I had a scientific background, and then I learned through business and strategy and finance via McKinsey. Then I joined the telephone company, and at the time that was in the late 80s, and telephone companies are mostly monopolies in the world. But actually at that time, one of the reasons they hired me is saying that because the company and the whole industry is going through a process of deregulation, and so you have to move on from a monopoly to make yourself a lot more competitive, and that involves a cultural change. So you see, you were talking about the board or the company has a trust and faith in you in bringing you in. You have to step up, but they are actually stepping up their game as well in hiring someone to an organization. In my case, they hire me because they want a change agent. Okay, when you think about stepping up, a lot of the time when you're going into something, doing something different, that you have to change, and the company is changing as well. So you have to match that and align that and find a common objective. So I spent a lot of time before I decided to join the company in really talking to, at that time, I was recruited as a director of strategy at the GM level, reporting to the CEO directly. And it's a new position. But I was young. I was much younger than all the other GMs. I was 29 at that time. And all the other 7 GMs in the organization are 50 plus. So that is a huge cultural change thing. You have a 29 years old helicopter in. So the key challenge for me at the time is how to get the recognition and how to get the trust and build a working relationship.
William,
so that was I
just ask, when you stepped into that role, did you realize just what the chasm was that you were getting yourself into?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I spent a lot of time because the telephone company was my client. So that was one of the good things. So I have been working along with these old GMs for over 1.5 years in former studies.
You were a known entity.
Yes, known entities. But even that, being a third-party consultant and brainstorming and working out strategy and having a pint at the end of the meeting is a good thing. But then suddenly you come in and sit at the same level as them is a different challenge. And you have to establish that peer-to-peer thing. But that is exactly what the board wanted to do at that time. They were thinking about if they have to move from a monopoly to a competitive company, the key thing is, well, which when I was in McKinsey, identifying the study saying that the biggest thing is a cultural change. And how you bring a lot of cultural change, if you have the same people, that's very difficult. So you need change agent. But that involves a lot of more than just like when you are a consultant, when you are doing, logical thinking, problem analysis, strategy formulation, et cetera, et cetera. But when you actually go into a corporation, and the way I jump in and stepped in like that, it takes a lot about people management. So a lot of stepping up depends on the extent, but a key part of stepping up is about how you work with people, whether it's the board, above you, your peer, and your direct reports.
Where do you focus? Because you've only got so much time in a day, and you've got to do things in the right order. So can you remember? It was a little while ago, but and it might well be there's another role we can look at where this was equally apparent. Can you remember where you started and perhaps what you did and didn't get right?
Well, if I look back, I think even when I was in McKinsey, we helped a lot of companies went through this change management, cultural change, a merger and acquisition, So we have all this here. But when you're actually doing it, it's very different things. Because we're always saying that consultant is easy. From A to B is a straight line, is the fastest way. But in real life, it's like that. So if I have to, with hindsight, I think I can do it with more patience. For important, firstly, because relationship takes time to build. Trust takes time to build. So you can't fast track that. And so being able to build the trust and work with something together, and so the process is very important as well. It's not just the result, the process. Whether you are engaging in certain tasks, whether you succeed or fail, it doesn't matter sometimes. It's a process of engaging people. So that is a skill. I think I learned the hard way when I was with the telephone company. But subsequently, as you mentioned, in the following stepping ups,
this was with City, wasn't it? With City when you
like in City. So in that particular one, I was stepping in not just another huge organization, a global bank, in one of the largest at that time, and I was stepping into a new industry as well. I have no particular industry experience in banking, but the board and the chairman at that time, the Citigroup chairman was John Reed. He gave me a lot of assurance. He was actually very visionary and told me, because when I had that interview with him, I interview him, not he interviewed me, because they have done enough background works on me already. But I was shocked I was surprised, at least to say, that they're interested in someone who's a non-banker to actually not even in a executive role, but really taking up the CEO role. And he was saying that his vision is at that time, and that was 1998, and he was saying that his belief is technology. Put like this: no matter which industry you're in, the underlying key theme is about technology. Whether it is front end of the banking is about internet in the future, or the middle office and the back office is about technology as well, and about data as well. And it was very, very visionary in the late 90s in saying that. And even more so, he said that actually, in our organization, we have a lot of expertise in banking products. We know inside out about banking. So I don't need another banking guys. I need someone to come in and being able have certain technology background and know about how can leverage, he used the word, and that's a very important word. That is perhaps, if there is one word I learned when even in my McKinsey day, is about leverage. You being able to get something and leverage that. And then because leverage is talking about multiple times. So you know about technology and you've been able to leverage that with, and work with other, specialized or specialist experts in a particular industry. So I stepped into Citi, and I know that I was surrounded by people, bankers. They know banking inside out, risk management inside out, credit card, mortgage, etc., inside out. And I being able to tell them, hey, how can we leverage technology to make the organization, the banking, a better place to serve our customer? That's the key.
So traditionally,
that's stepping in actually involve not only into a new organization, of which the people management thing is very, very important, but it's also being able to tell the people that, hey, I'm here to work with you. I know you are the expert, and I need that.
How did that wash, William? Because effectively they're saying, you're the CEO, you're supposed to know where we're going, William. You're supposed to know what we're about and what we're doing. We can just pull the wool over your eyes, by the way, because you don't know what we're doing. So how did you know that you were getting the information you needed? How did you know the wool wasn't being pulled over your eye? And how did you leverage that position that you're saying you were presented to in?
Well, it takes a bit of convincing to do, actually, because the key underlying thing is, we were saying that it doesn't matter which industry you are in. The key thing, whether you are a bank or you're a telephone company or you're a fashion retailer, is the same. You're trying to find the best way to develop the best value proposition to your customer. So when everyone is focusing on the customer and how to provide them with the best, value proposition, it doesn't matter which particular product it is. Even in a bank, whether you're providing them a mortgage, as I said, or credit card, or a time deposit, or whatsoever, it's still the same. So I would say, hey, we get all this. You tell the guys, we get all these fantastic banking products already. Is the way to actually serve the customer that's better. Because as a matter of fact, banking, insurance, and a lot of other things, they are getting less and less, differentiation between products. People can copy products very easily. You can do that. I can do that. I can give a higher interest rate. You can get a higher interest rate. I can get free grips to apply for a credit card. You can do the same as well. So it's about the distribution, and it's also about the services you give to the customer, which is matters. So we have to think along all these things, and so you'll be able to tell the product guy that you're actually working with them, being able to help them to actually serve their customer much better, and together we have that vision of propelling the bank or stepping up the whole organization of stepping up the bank. I think that is important. It's not just we are doing the stepping up. There's a whole organization is stepping up.
Very, very interesting. And I think, therefore, it's also about aligning the organization in terms of what their real strategy was, which was, in actual fact, customer delivery, probably customer acquisition as well. But it was the consumer and what you're delivering to them.